Hi.
Oh, hello. We're recording.
We are. We were just sitting here.
Sitting here.
Doing drugs. Just kidding. April Fools!
April Fools!
The only April Fools joke that will exist in our lives.
So that's actually real. We weren't doing drugs. We were, unless you call love a drug.
Which, I mean, I get it.
I was just loving on my wife over here.
As you should.
As I must.
Anyways, welcome back. I'm Melissa.
I'm Marlene.
And this is What's Your Favorite Scary Story?
And we're your favorite lesbian couple.
If you don't like it, then get out of here.
Get out of it. I mean, if you're listening, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
at this point.
You get it.
And we appreciate you listening.
We do, yeah. And for those of you that are new here, we're gay. And we host this podcast together. We're married. And this is the podcast where we cover what you guys want to hear.
Yeah, your favorite scary stories.
Anything spooky, creepy. We are doing true crime now. We've been doing that for a few months now.
We've opened up the realm.
Yeah. The
realm of endless possibilities.
Yes, so anything you want to hear covered on here, send it in. Where can they send them to?
You can send them to whatsyourfavoritescarystory@gmail.com, or you can send it to
our DMs on Instagram, which is also going to be at What's Your Favorite Scary Story.
I feel a little not I was gonna say constipated.
What?
Congested.
That's different.
Yeah,
yep. You want to get that one right.
It's springtime over here in Tennessee.
I mean, pretty much all of the U.S. it's technically spring.
Yeah, but we've never experienced I've never experienced a true Tennessean spring, and it's kind of it crept up on me a little bit.
It's like all over the place, honestly, in true Tennessee spirit.
I have some like extra mucus going on, but everything else is fine.
Good.
Which is good.
I love to hear it.
This past weekend, it's so funny. I'm going to mention this because I thought it was like hilarious.
Uh-oh.
Well, we had the weekend off together.
We did.
And
thank God.
I showed you the video of Jessica, who she went to, she's one of our listeners. I went to school with her.
Right. What was the video again? I already forgot.
She and her husband went to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And she sent me a video through my Instagram of, I guess it seems like it was like a karaoke thing, or I don't know. It was like just this performance thing.
I remember now.
And I was like, what? Like, what the heck? Okay, let me check out the video. And it was, sure enough, it was of, like, they were out there on their night out in New Orleans, and the video was of this guy, like, everyone was just singing West Virginia country roads. I was like, oh my God, dude, I was cracking up. Oh my God, it was so fucking funny, dude. I was like, of course. That's all. No context, nothing. She just sends me the video.
She knows you'll know.
She knows. And I was like, what the heck? But it was so funny. It made my night for sure.
Yeah, the song's definitely made its appearance a time or two here on the pod. She gets it.
It's so funny, but yeah, thank you, Jessica, for that.
Thank you.
Video.
Shout out, Jessica.
Shout out, Jessica, dude. I'm just so happy that
I don't know what that was.
Also, on another note, there is no other note, but I have a spooky, not so fun fact.
Oh, yay. Let's hear it.
Not so fun facts with marbles. Ouch, I just hit myself on the wall.
I heard that and was wondering if anything serious happened over there.
If you can hear it, keep it on the pod.
Hi.
So I thought this was really interesting and kind of gross. So I figured I'd share it.
Oh, yay.
So
Oh, boy. I've been practicing my Mickey Mouse impression lately.
Oh, boy.
Tell me what you think in the comments below.
And click like and subscribe.
Yes, those two.
So I was curious if there were any like weird facts or not so fun facts about tattoos.
Ooh.
Since I'm getting into like tattooing and stuff.
My wife My wife is a tattoo artist now.
Apparently.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I have a tattoo on my arm that she did.
Yeah, she trusted me with her
crazy. It's like
skin.
a real tattoo. It's like, what, 3 inches long and wide and tall?
Probably. Yeah.
It's big. She did like a legit tattoo on me.
Yeah, it looks like...
Wild.
I had to see it the next day and then be like, actually, that does look pretty good.
It does. It's crazy.
But,
Anyway.
So I looked for a spooky tattoo fact, and I found out that in the late 19th and 20th centuries, that it wasn't uncommon for people to collect and preserve human tattooed skin post-mortem.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah. Lots of medical professionals, collectors, and even museums prized skin.
That's crazy.
Yeah, some of the largest collections could be found in medical museums around the world, like the Wellcome Collection in London or the Musée de Branly in Paris.
Wow.
The skin samples are often carefully preserved and displayed as a part of the study of human anthropology and art, which kind of makes sense, you know? Like, if... I hate to say, like, Neanderthals, but just... Well, what would you call it? Like, cavemen, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, if cavemen were tattooing each other, it would be kind of cool to see that, you know?
Yeah.
And then just like the timeline leading up to today's tattoos, you know? So I was curious and was trying to see how they would even collect them.
I was going to say, like, how is that determined? Like, is that part of, like, our donor thing on our licenses or what?
So technically, yeah.
Because the skin's an organ.
So I found basically, I guess, like a step-by-step process of how we would even get the skin,
okay,
I guess, in a sense. So yes, there is such a thing as consent and documentation in this process. So ideally, you know, we or they obtain like consent from the individual to do this before or after death, depending on what they're comfortable with.
How do they like find these people and like pick them?
I believe it's already dying people.
Right, but like, how do they like go about locating these people that are dying and have tattoos and going and asking them for this?
That's a good question.
You know?
I'm not sure, but I can see how they probably could be actively looking for this. So
wild.
They could possibly stop by a hospital.
Wow.
And like,
I mean, honestly, if that was me at like 90 years old dying, I'd be like, hell yeah, you can examine this pumpkin on my arm in the future. Go ahead, take it.
And I can see it being more of a geographical thing because, I mean, the culture here in Nashville is different than in LA. Yeah. Like in LA, almost everyone's tatted, it seems like. And here, I feel like the odd one out.
It's
sometimes.
Like a certain demographic here.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you see someone with tattoos, like you want to talk to them.
Yeah,
personally,
those are the cool kids.
Yeah, personally, I want to talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, and if they don't have tattoos, then you
Lame.
know. Yeah, you know that they sway gay. So the
I'm sorry, excuse me. What?
So the removal of the skin, right? So actually, the tattoos and their origins would be documented on like when they got them, why they got them, along with like just like any story behind them.
That's cool.
So after the person has passed away and the body was available for medical study, this would be kind of like the point where they would remove certain organs and stuff. So at this point, they would remove the skin with tattoos.
Okay.
And typically, this is done using surgical instruments to cleanly remove the skin, even after death, still respecting the body, you know.
They should.
With minimal damage to the artwork. And then they clean the skin thoroughly to remove any blood, any fat, and any other biological materials, I guess. And then the step to prepare the skin for preservation. It's a step to preserve the skin for preservation.
Oh my god. You got it.
Sorry, I'm just like full of mucus today.
She's a little funny.
Yeah. Anyway, so the preservation.
Yes.
Preservation?
There you go.
Okay.
You got it.
So the preservation, to preserve this skin, the skin would be cleaned and treated with chemicals. And I can't pronounce this word. It's formaldehyde or alcohol solutions.
Oh, formaldehyde.
And the chemicals prevent decomposition.
Right.
And maintain the color and detail of the tattoo.
The liveliness.
Yeah,
of the
basically.
skin.
So once it's preserved, the skin can be mounted on a type of card or fabric backing, or stored on a flat surface to protect, in protective enclosures kind of thing, just to
like
help it keep
case.
it, to help keep it preserved.
Makes sense.
It makes it easier to display,
transport.
Yeah, and keep it preserved.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, since it's anthropological.
Yeah, I think it's anthropological.
Yeah, anthropological.
Sure. Yeah.
Study of humans.
Yes.
So it would be categorized. These people that are looking for these tattoos, categorize it, and I'm assuming how they still find preserved bodies of the Icemen and whatever, and they found the body and it's just stiff like this, and there's some bodies with tattoos still on them. I don't know if you ever saw that. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about, but I want to say in the last decade they found a body of a well preserved body of a man. He wasn't even caveman times. He was just
but older.
Yeah, just older, and he had tattoos on his legs.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, tattoos are older than we think. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not gonna lie to you though.
Well, I can't remember. Though. Yeah, so I'm assuming they probably also
right,
did the same process to him to.
Dang, that's so cool.
To preserve his tattoos.
A little freaky.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
Historical I don't know what's going on.
Marnie
downstairs.
is just really loud on our hardwood floor.
It's just to keep displaying, preserve tattoos. It's historical, on how they. I mean, you can even go to across the world and get a tattoo the way they used to tattoo with the with the stick and the needle
kind of situation.
Yeah, and they just lightly tap it.
That's like the OG what's stick and poke? The OG stick and poke tattoos.
Right, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
But there's a museum in London, there's a museum in Philadelphia, in Tokyo, and in Maryland.
That's so random.
Well, it's in Maryland, it's the National Museum of Health. So
I guess that is by DC and all that.
Yeah, they have a collection there, pieces of tattooed skin.
Wow. I never would have thought.
Yeah, they just have medical history stuff there. So most of these museums in these cities are of that.
That makes sense.
But
it's not just a skin museum.
Yeah. So I've seen skin before, but I don't know about tattooed skin like that, preserved tattoo skin.
I mean, I'm pretty positive I haven't.
We saw the skin at the.
Was it the Museum of Death, or
both? Museum.
Bacon's?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah, but it wasn't displayed as a medical.
Right. Obviously, it was supposed to be
thing.
Creepier.
Yeah, but that's my fun fact. Thank you for
listening. Wow, very interesting. Did not know that fact. She was clapping, and it looked like she was spanking her hand with her other hand. Anyways, are you ready for my story?
Yes, I am.
Yay.
Yam, Sam, yam, I am.
You're not Sam. Anyway.
Should we take a shot on live?
On live?
Yeah.
We're not live, but you can take a shot.
You think that's crazy?
I dare you.
You dare me?
Yes.
You triple dog dare me? I triple dog dare myself.
I double dog dare. I double cat dare you.
I double cat, one dog dare you.
That's our family.
Yes.
We got the 2 cats and the dog.
I double cat, one dog dare you to take a shot.
No.
Oh, and I was talking to myself.
Oh, okay, then yes.
I was talking to my past self.
Okay.
So should I listen to my future self?
Yes.
Should I?
Yes. The ASMR of the day. Oh, you opened this one. Good
These
job.
are so hard for me to open.
It's because they're like little tiny caps.
Like, how do you even like grip?
It.
Yeah.
It was hard for me for the other one.
I think you used your shirt still, huh?
I tried, but no, it didn't even work.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a shot
of alcohol.
Whoa.
Gross.
This was for all you ladies and germs out there. I love you. Thank you for listening and supporting.
I don't know that they will anymore after this.
Why?
Just gross.
What's gross?
With your gurgles and the microphone and everything.
Yo, if you're grossed out by that, I want you to understand that you sound the same when you take your shot, so.
When you drink soda. Anyways, story?
Babe. Wow, she was encouraging me and now she's shaming me.
Yep.
How does that make sense?
I don't know.
Okay.
I love you.
Sure.
All right, so this week's story was suggested by Casey from Delaware. Thank you so much, Casey.
Casey Neistat? Like the YouTuber?
No.
Oh.
Not that one.
Actually, I think he lives in New York.
Wrong. Okay, so Casey's suggestion is going to be the story of the Pollock Sisters.
Like Jason Pollock?
Do you mean Jackson Pollock?
Like Jackson Pollock?
No, not like Jackson Pollock. Oh. Jason Pollock.
Why are you making fun of me?
Because I love you. It's all for fun. It's fine. She rolled her eyes at me.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Okay, so in May of 1957 in England.
Wow.
That's not the interesting part, but okay. Joanna and Jacqueline were walking with their friend Anthony to church.
Oh.
Yep. Joanna was 11 years old, and her younger sister, Jacqueline, was 6, and then Anthony was 9. As they were walking down the street to church, all 3 of them were suddenly hit by a crazy driver.
What the heck? Okay.
Joanna and Jacqueline were killed almost instantly, and Anthony died on the way to the hospital. It was later discovered that the driver of the car was a local woman who was under the influence of multiple drugs, and it turns out she intentionally hit the children after being forcibly separated from her own kids.
Wow.
The case made the headlines in Britain, and she was eventually taken to a psychiatric hospital.
Wow. Just because, I mean, did the court decide she was unstable like that?
I couldn't find many details with the case and everything, but just the way she was handling everything after being separated from her kids,
I can also see her, because she was on drugs, she could have played up the fact that she was using drugs and now she's, unstable, which is really unfair.
Yeah.
But why pretend to be crazy?
I mean, a lot of people go with, the insanity plea to try and get out of things,
I think that's cowardice. Is that a word?
Yeah.
I think that's
cowardly. Cowardice?
Cowardice.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's coward. Own up to your shit,
Yeah.
Everyone knows. Own up to it. Especially since they're children, too.
Well, clearly, like, it had to have been out of, like...
Spite
and animosity and, like, oh, these kids probably have, like, parents that, like, can be with them. I can't be with my kids kind of thing. And
that's psycho.
Yeah, well, we don't know what drugs she was, like, under the influence of. But regardless, this is not a true crime case.
Oh.
Because that would be, like, real short. Like, we already were at the ending of it.
Right.
We're not even going to talk about that woman at all again. No.
What was her name again?
It didn't say her name.
Oh, it was just
a local woman in the town.
Yo, well, fuck the local woman in the town.
Fuck local woman, you know? She sucks. But no, we are going to continue to focus on the Pollock family. That was Joanna and Jacqueline, yeah. So after Joanna and Jacqueline passed away, their parents, Florence and John, were obviously devastated. They lost their 2 daughters. I do believe they had 4 sons, but I think those were the only girls. But not too much later, Florence became pregnant. So it was like a normal pregnancy. The heartbeat sounded good and everything, and they expected a normal, healthy baby. Mm-hmm. Well, on October 4th, 1958, Florence gave birth to 2 healthy baby girls.
Whoa.
Yes, she unexpectedly delivered twins. And they ended up naming them Jillian and Jennifer. So Joanna and Jacqueline were the first 2 girls that got hit by the car and passed away. And then Jillian and Jennifer are the twins that Florence just gave birth to. So the twins were identical, except Jennifer had birthmarks. And this is like highly, highly unusual for just one twin to have birthmarks if they're identical. So Jennifer had a birthmark on her left hip and one on her forehead. The real crazy part is that Jacqueline, the younger sister that was killed by the car, also had a birthmark on her left hip. She didn't have a birthmark on her forehead, but she did have a scar on her forehead in the same spot as Jennifer's birthmark.
Whoa.
So when the twins were about 3 months old, the family left the town of Hexham and moved about 50 kilometers east to Whitley Bay.
You think when the family, like, noticed the birthmarks, they, like, looked at each other and they were like, what the fuck? Like, you think that's something they would have noticed, or something they just were like, oh, that's just a cute birthmark? Because I know we would have been like,
We'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay.
As the girls got older, it became very clear that they had memories from Hexham, even though they were only 3 months old when they left that town. When the girls were 4, the Pollocks visited Hexham. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right. It's in Britain, so Hexham. I don't know.
Sure.
So when the girls were 4, they went there and visited. And Jillian and Jennifer were able to point out and name multiple landmarks that they had never seen of or heard before. Seen or heard of before.
Right.
These places included the school that Joanna and Jacqueline attended, as well as a playground that Joanna and Jacqueline often played at.
Damn.
The twins even knew exactly how to get to this playground on their own. They were 4 and never been here before, besides when they were 3 months old.
Right.
Okay, so after Joanna and Jacqueline were hit and passed away, Florence took all of their toys and like stored them away, including when they moved and got to their new house. She just kind of stowed them away because she didn't like want to get rid of them, but she couldn't really like look at them, you know, because it was just like a reminder.
Yeah.
Well, Jillian and Jennifer started to ask for those specific toys by name, even though they had never seen them before. They were asking for like, oh, I want my train, you know, like as if it was like theirs that they had and played with.
Like, where's my Sally doll?
Yeah, so that's weird. And it wasn't just these memories not making like sense that they would have these memories. That wasn't the only weird part. Jillian and Jennifer started to exhibit similar personalities to their late sisters, Joanna and Jacqueline. Joanna while alive, she was always very protective over her younger sister, Jacqueline, since she was 5 years younger than her. Well, even though Jillian was only 10 minutes older than Jennifer, she seemed much more mature and always looked after her twin sister. The parents also noticed that the twins liked the same games and foods as Joanna and Jacqueline, which isn't like that crazy, but still. Just
everyone loves chicken fingers.
Right. But what is crazy is that when Florence originally got pregnant with the twins, which at the time the doctors were under the impression it was just one baby.
The second twins.
Well, the first were just sisters. They weren't twins.
Oh.
The first, remember, that's why,
yes.
because Joanna would take care of Jacqueline because she was 11 and Jacqueline was 6. Yeah. So she always looked after her. And now these are twins and they're the same age. But one is seems like the bigger sister and is looking after the other one.
Okay.
But yeah, so when Florence got pregnant with them, remember the doctors, they thought it was just one baby and it was a surprise. But ever since Florence got pregnant, her husband, John, was convinced that Florence was pregnant with twins that were the reincarnation of Joanna and Jacqueline.
What the heck?
He said it, when she got pregnant. And she was like, no, it's just one baby. You're crazy. And, she's very, religious. So she, strongly rejected this idea.
But, why would he say that, though?
I don't know. Ever since I don't know if it was just mourning and he was really missing his daughters, and so that, but it's weird that he just alone predicted the fact that they were going to be twins,
Right.
And ever since the twins were born, John continued to believe his theory that Jillian and Jennifer were actually Joanna and Jacqueline.
Yeah,
returned to them.
And that's pretty bold of him because let's say if we were in that situation, I'd be afraid to say that.
Right.
And fear that would bring up memories,
right?
or feelings
be upsetting.
From you. Yeah,
for sure.
So that's pretty bold of him to say and just assume that
it's okay to make that comment.
Yeah.
And this was fresh, because the twins were born in October of 1958, and the first daughters died in May of 1957. So it had been a year and a half since they lost their girls, so, but when she got pregnant, it was less than a year after they lost them. So Florence and John argued about this a lot, and it actually almost brought them to the point of divorce. But Florence remained unconvinced that her twin daughters were reincarnated versions of her deceased daughters, up until the twins started talking about the car accident.
Whoa.
There was one occasion where Florence overheard the girls playing a game where they recreated their late sister's car accident. Jillian was cradling Jennifer's head, telling her, "The blood's coming out of your eyes. That's where the car hit you."
What the heck?
They're 4. It's crazy.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. In addition to this, the twins appeared to have a great fear of cars, and in their younger years, they experienced recurring nightmares about being hit by a car. It got so bad that one time when a car started its engine nearby, the girls grabbed onto each other and shouted, "The car is coming to get us."
Oh my god.
So sad. These poor, they don't even know why they're scared of these things, So, around 5 years old, Jillian and Jennifer slowly stopped mentioning these memories from Joanna and Jacqueline's childhood, and they went on to lead normal lives. So, even though their memories had faded, Jillian later in life experienced visions of herself playing in a sand pit at a home in Wickham. She described this house in great detail, even mentioning a garden. And the house that she described was a perfect match for the house that Florence and John lived in with Joanna before Jacqueline was born, with their first daughters. And Jillian was the one having similarities to Joanna.
Yeah.
So, of course, there are people out there that believe this is all a big hoax and that the parents were behind it all. But the parents claimed that they never even told Jillian and Jennifer about their deceased sisters until they were in their teens. A podcast called Extrasensory actually spoke with John's granddaughters, Liza and Joanna. I'm assuming named after her late aunt, I guess it would be. According to them, John was a very controlling man, and they said he manipulated Florence. One of them claimed that Florence told them the reincarnation story was a lie. She also said that Florence described John as a truthfully narcissistic, gaslighting little man and a pathological liar who abused her.
Whoa.
The granddaughters also said the story was a family secret future generations were not told about. So unfortunately, Jillian died at the age of 44, but the podcast Extrasensory was able to track down Jennifer, and she gave her first interview to them in 40 years. And it was a very, very different story than these granddaughters gave. She said John was a loving father who doted on the twins, and she was certain that he never lied to them about the reincarnation. She said, quote, "That's not right. He would never make lies up. I think what he said was the truth as he believed it. He was a very big spiritualist." She also said that her parents never pushed them to say anything about their deceased sisters as kids, confirming they didn't even know about them until they were teenagers. Jennifer's husband, Steve, was quoted saying, "It would be nice to solve the mystery once and for all, but I think it's always going to be a mystery. I think it's up to people to make their minds up." At the end of the interview, they asked Jennifer if she believed she was reincarnated, and she said, "I 80% think it's reincarnation. There's got to be something there." And that was the story of the Pollock sisters.
Wow, that's a good one.
Isn't it crazy?
It's freaking crazy.
And like, there was like a few things that I missed that I remembered after I finished and looked it up, but they're just like little things. Like one, I think, I can't remember if it's Jillian or Jennifer, but one of them really had trouble like gripping onto like a pencil, and the same thing was like with their respective deceased sister had that same issue with holding a pencil, and just like little things like that, and they would act the same, have the same like one was like really caring and empathetic kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy, and it's also like a little endearing, like the family had another chance like to like have their daughters back, even
like
if it's in a different
soul.
way.
Like
yeah, the same soul. Yeah. It's just wild.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I believe in like souls in general,
right.
like the spirit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The reincarnation part isn't far-fetched. I want to believe in it. I just don't know if I can.
Right. No, I get
like
how
morally can.
I get how the idea of it is like crazy, but it's just like the things of like, because there was that other one like Shanti Devi. It was like this, but times 10. You know, where these girls named a school from a town that they haven't lived in since they were 3 months old, never seen, never heard of. How would they know that name and how to get to the playground that they named?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Those are the things that are convincing to me.
And I think at this point I'd love to share a story that makes me believe in this story.
Mm-hmm.
Because you existed in my timeline when this happened. And or at least before this happened. I really wish my sister can tell this story. Maybe I can get her to tell the story. Maybe just ignore me.
Okay.
But I want to tell the story about the ICD.
About a dream? Was it her dream or?
Where she saw a man in a robe.
Right, yeah.
Because it's like, it's moments like that I've lived personally, and now through my niece, that have me convinced. This is why I'm religious, because I've had literal proof smacked on my face that God exists and there is something like bigger out there. And should I just share the story?
Yeah, if you want.
Okay. I'll make this as quickly as possible. Okay. Not so fun facts with marbles.
Part 2. Except it's fun a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like hella fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so back in 2019, I want to say, I lived with my sister, and my family, my sister's husband got a dog that nobody was expecting or sort of kind of low-key wanted. Mm-hmm. Like, he just came home with a dog, and my sister was like, we don't need another puppy. Mm-hmm. We have 4 dogs already. This is like, what the fuck are you doing? But I think he came with like good intentions. And my nephew named him Scouch, and he was always looking for me. Scouch was always just like looking for me, and every time I'd get home, he'd be so happy that I was home. Mm. And I mean, there's 4 other dogs in this house.
Yeah.
There's too much
and a cat
going on. A cat, 2 babies, you know, and everyone's living their life, so it's just hard to like give attention to every living being in that house. But at this point in my life, this was before I met you, I was very depressed, and I think I just needed some sort of companionship. And Scouch, I named him Scouchy. Scouchy was he was always there looking for me, just like the sweetest thing ever. So I like adopted him, and I would let him go, like walk into my room, and I'd pick him up, because he was literally like, his length with his tail was probably like 6 to 7 inches long, and like in the height from his paws to his head, he was probably like maybe like 5 inches tall. Like he was
big old jelly bean.
Yeah, he was just really freaking small. And yeah, he lived a nice little short life with us. And then unfortunately he passed away, and we didn't. It was a tragic accident, and we didn't want to tell the kids that Scouch passed away, so we didn't. But of course, we told my mom, and my mom told her boyfriend. And then one day, while my sister was getting my niece ready for her dance class, my niece was like, "Hey, Mom, I know." While she's getting ready, right? My sister's dressing her, and my niece is like, "Hey, Mom, I know how Scouch passed away." And then so my sister was like, "Oh, do you now?" You know, because it was very tragic. We don't want to tell the kids. So then my sister comes into my room, and she's like, "Did you tell her what happened to Scouch?" And I was like, "No." And then she was like, "Did my mom tell her?" I was like, "I can't imagine my mom telling her." And then she was like, "Maybe her boyfriend told her." And I was like, "He's not that kind of guy."
No,
he
doesn't even really like talk to them like that.
He just doesn't. He's a quiet guy, first of all. Like, he doesn't. He's just very shy. He doesn't really talk. And I was like, I highly doubt anyone told him, dude. I was like, maybe your husband did, you know, just trying to kind of stir the pot there. But of course he didn't, because why would he tell his daughter, you know? And so I was like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. And then so we both walked over to her, because I wanted to be there while my sister asked her the questions, so she knows I'm not lying to her, my sister. And so my sister was like, "Who told you? And who told you how Scouch passed away?" And she was like, a man with a beard, a tall man with a beard like my dad, but he was wearing a white dress." And we both looked at each other, and I was like, "Okay, so what did he look like?" And she was like, "Well, his skin was white, and he had black shoes on, and he had a dress and a beard." And I was like, okay, so we were just still like, what the hell's going on? And then, so I was like, just give me a second. So then I literally I Google the name Jesus Christ, and it's like a bunch of images of him from like coloring book pages to like just vectored images of him.
Right.
And then so I show my sister first, and I'm like, "Can I show her this?" And she's like, "Yeah." you know? So I asked my niece, does the man look like any one of these? And she points of one that looks like a character, like a drawn out coloring book version of him, but colored in. And she's like, that's him right there. And she's like, and I see him in my dreams, and he picks me up and throws me up really high in the air and then catches me and hugs me, and his hugs are so warm. And we literally just, my sister and I just look at each other and we're like, what the hell? I got goosebumps.
She was like, what, 3?
She was 3 years old. Like, how would you know these things? How where would she get this information? And she was like down to the feet, where she was like, and he had black shoes on. And oh my God. If like anything like restores your fate, it's like just little things. I can go on forever. I don't want to like, you know, I think this is really personal to me, and I've never like said this story to anyone. But like maybe close people that I'm, you know, around me. But yeah, that's just solid to me. And if I don't know about reincarnation, but maybe just like a larger consciousness in little kids, where there's just like a split between like the realms of
like they're closer. It's like the veil's thinner for them.
The veil is definitely
Didn't
thinner.
you have a dream about like your grandma?
Yes, when I was a baby. Yes.
Yeah. Tell that one too. It's quick.
Well, just really quickly, I met my grandma before what is this, before I was born dream?
I thought it was like you were here, but she was already passed away or something.
My dad's mom?
Yeah. I mean, it's your story. I could be remembering it wrong.
Is it my dad's mom?
I don't know.
Because like before I was born, my grandma passed away. My dad's mom passed away.
Right.
And I literally met her before. This is gonna make me sound fucking crazy, babe. Like,
no one here is gonna think you're crazy.
Like I met, because I'm not claiming to be psychic. I'm not claiming to be like otherworldly. I'm not claiming to have any like psychic abilities or that I'm like super special. You know, like I'm just me at this point. But I literally met my grandma before I was born, after she passed away. And growing up, I would cry for her because I missed her, even though I never met her in life. And I swear to God, dude, like I'm gonna have my mom like she has to tell these stories, because I feel like that's how other people will believe me. But I would literally, my mom would catch me crying, and she'd be like, what's going on? What's wrong? And I'd be like, I just miss my grandma. She was like, well, she'd comfort me, of course, like a good mom. But, I mean, she'd also be like
why? You know,
why she never met her. Yeah, but I literally I met her, dude. Like, I met her, I swear, I met her in, like, the in-between realm of, like, spirit and being. And, yeah, I have a feeling my niece is like that. Yeah. And
that's like the one way that you guys are like similar.
Yeah, that's why she reminds me of me so much. Both of them, my niece and my nephew, both remind me of me so much, and it's just tragic. But
no, anyway. They're going to grow up to be great citizens and wonderful people.
Yes, they will. I strongly believe that. But maybe I can do like if I get my mom to explain that story. I don't know if you listen to NPR, where they have like someone speaking their language and doing the thing, and then the voiceover translating. I'll probably try to do that.
We can
but
try that, something like that.
I need her to tell the story, because that's the only way I feel like.
And she was like the adult too, so she probably remembers it better.
Yeah, she was like in her 30s, like 30s. Yeah, she was in her 30s.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Because those are like far away memories for you now because you were
Yeah,
little.
no, but I know I've not only have I given her horrible memories where I've inflicted pain and misery.
What did you do to your mom?
I just suck, you know? I've always
Yeah.
treated my mom with respect, but I've always gotten myself into trouble where she worries for me. But yeah, there's no reason why my mom is an honest woman. She will tell you the truth, and there's no hate in her heart. She will speak honestly, and she needs. I'm gonna call her one day, record the conversation, and then we'll make a whole episode out of this because
sounds good.
I think it's a good story.
All right. Well, I hope you guys liked your bonus story and the normal story.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys. Remember to send in your suggestions if you want us to cover them on here because we need content always.
Yes, we always need content. Thank you very much for listening. We love you. We see you. We appreciate you. We smell you. And you should brush your teeth and shower.
If you want us to keep smelling you. Anyways, have a good week. We love y'all and make sure that you
stay April.
Aprooky?
Aprooky?
Stay spooky, y'all. Have a good week.
Howdy, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.